lights and words on the side that said, "Don't shoot."
Yeah. I seen that. It was pretty good.
Where am I here?
By the way, following the club on Facebook, the people who are posting photos of the zoo and on their own, like Jane Hirst, they're just absolutely beautiful. I have two thoughts when I see these photos. Go out and practice more or burn my camera.
It's so funny. I don't see any of those posts. I don't know why. And it's on my account. So
Yeah, no, I seen some beautiful car pictures and stuff like that. Just gorgeous. I mean, our camera club does a fantastic job on photography and that, and just, all over the board too, in that of in different interests.
Yeah, Jeff, I have the same problem. I get multiple emails about posts on Facebook.
yeah, well, I'm actually gonna take Facebook off my phone and iPad. I'm started noticing that it's now grabbing everything in my contact list and saying you want this person to be a friend, and I go, I don't want you to be that intrusive anymore.
Yeah.
Are you using the Messenger app?
No, I don't touch the Messenger app either.
I don't either, because some people claim to get spammed or something, or account taken over, and I don't know if it's because they have the Messenger app or not, but I don't use it. I just have to log in.
And the person that they had just texted me, and it showed up the next day on my on Facebook saying, do you want to have this person as a friend? And I go, oh, they're into that deep. I knew they were into the stuff pretty far, but I didn't think so. I'm pulling it all out of all my computers.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it. They want to have access to everything.
Yep.
They don't need access to everything. It's like, if I want to post it or give them permission, let me make that decision, not, where I'm forced to, give up basically every single right for my privacy.
Yeah.
All right, Roger, I think we can start.
All right.
Keep bringing in other people as they show up.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Menomonee Falls Camera Club June meeting, and just about everything that we will cover tonight will be in the newsletter. But do we have any new members tonight? I think I recognize everybody that I see. Okay, and we could probably start off the meeting with the election of officers. So far, what we have is the president next year will be Clint Wenzel, our current vice president, and Linnea Koenig will be the vice president next year. Treasurer, Patrick Lynch again. Newsletter, Ellen Hanrahan again. And secretary of Jeff Klug. Are there any other people that are interested in these offices? Do we want to vote and approve these?
I would
Any-
say I'd make the motion that we approve the proposed slate of officers.
I second.
Okay. Any,
Just need to take a vote,
any
Roger.
opposed? What?
Yeah, I was going to say take a vote.
Okay, all right. All approving of the list, raise their hands. And anyone opposed or want to contest? I see Ellen, and she's muted. So she can yell and scream all she wants.
Well, I want to thank Linnea for stepping up. I contacted
Yeah.
her over a holiday weekend, probably at her weakest point.
9 o'clock at night too.
Yeah,
Yep. But I appreciate her stepping up and everybody else
Yeah.
willing to continue doing it. So,
yep, that's great. Now, let me see, for Wacko News, I don't think there's too much of anything except that they now have a something going on at the Audubon. Let's
well, we
see.
have two things that will be happening soon, or not soon, actually. August 10th and 11th, we're doing a sunflower shoot at
right.
Shimon Sunflower Farm. That will depend whether we ever get any rain or not, so that the sunflowers can actually start growing. But it's $10 for either Friday or Saturday. The shoot is from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 when they open up. You can actually stay longer if you want, but it will start to get a little more crowded in the morning. It's not like they get hundreds of people, but the fields start to get a bunch of people that come in to pick and that. You can find the information on the website, Wacko website, and you just got to click on, there's a box there for signing up. Basically, it goes through PayPal, and you can buy your ticket there. And we'll just be using the receipt from PayPal to keep track of who's signed up. And Ken will be running that both Friday and Saturday over at the farm.
So it's not a sign up when you get there. You have to sign up beforehand.
We would like it because we want to limit it to 30 people per day. Otherwise, if we get much more than 30 people, it's going to get crowded.
Okay.
I mean, it is I think there are about 10 acres worth of sunflowers. So it's a lot of, and they have a lot of varieties, but yeah, if it gets too crowded, I think it could get to be a problem. So we'd like you to sign up and pay.
I believe that's in Slinger, right? This
Yeah,
farm?
it's in Slinger. It's just down the road for me, about 6 miles. It's on Highway CC, north of 167.
Isn't that
miles.
Litchfield? No.
No, it's actually, by the time you get to where their farm is, it's in Slinger.
Oh, okay. And by the way, I couldn't unmute because I was trying to push the button because I thought this was my iPad and I'm on my computer. So to use a mouse.
Okay,
So we've got that going. We also are going to be doing the Birds of Prey, but it's going to be later in the year. It's going to be October
21st.
21st. Thank you.
Yep, Saturday.
And that'll be from 9 o'clock till about 11:30. We'll have a normal amount of birds. They've got a couple of new ones. We'll have more information on that as we get closer to probably by our September meeting, since it is at the end of October.
I believe
Hopefully
it's
we'll have some nice
$85.
fall color.
I believe it's $85 too, I believe, for
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. So
And
we got those two things going.
okay. And for digital form on June 24th, you have Keith Lisk with the how he made a Great Smoky Mountain book.
Yep. Yeah, he made a book on the Smoky Mountains, and he's going to tell us all the trials and tribulations of putting together a book and getting it published for sale on Amazon. So it's a very pretty book, and he has quite a story about what he went through trying to get it and what can happen, good and bad. He was trying to get it in the bookstores down in the Smoky Mountains, and he ordered the books, I guess, for that. And then they decided they weren't going to carry it. So he had to find a different outlet to sell his books, and that was Amazon. So
Wow.
we'll get the whole story from him in a couple weeks.
Okay. Let me see. I don't think I saw Brian Latimus. Did anybody else go to the zoo outing? How did that go?
It went very well. I think there was 6 of us that made it.
Okay.
It was a warm day and it was quite bright. But otherwise it was a nice day to be with the other people, so, and
Okay.
busy.
We might have a little bit of time later in this meeting if anyone wanted to show some of their zoo pictures that we'll ask about that later.
Okay.
Right now, there are no other Menomonee Falls Camera Club outings scheduled at the moment. And there's one other photo opportunity that is coming up, and that's Bulls and Barrels, which is bull riding and barrel racing, and I think there's some other rodeo things going on at the Buchler Farm in Belgium on June 24th. And in the past, I think Patty Grimley and Jesse have gone, and I would suspect that from their enthusiasm that they'll probably be going back again.
Yep, I got my tickets.
Okay, so anyone have questions on that? If you contacted either one of them, they could probably help with fine details. There's a virtual creative conference. There's coming up June 24th and 25th, where you've got 2 different days of speakers, 9 different speakers, and trying to remember what the price on that was. It was something like $25 or so.
Yeah, I think it was 39.
39. Okay.
But that was up until June 4th.
Yeah, now I think it's up. Now I think it's $49. They have a number of different speakers, including myself, and
yeah, I saw that name in there.
Yeah, I'm in there a couple times. You'll be able, if you can't attend those 2 days, they will also they have it posted so that you can watch it online for 60 days after the end of June. So you'd have July and August that you'd still be able to watch it. So it's more on the creative end than it is straight Photoshop stuff. So might be worth checking out. It's not super expensive. Hazel Meredith, the gal that we've had on here a couple times, is the one that puts this on every year or a couple times a year. And yeah, she twisted my arm to come and do some talking too. I've presented at conferences where she's been at too, so we've known each other for a long time. So I get to go back to doing some teaching once in a while.
You'll
So-
notice that June 24th also has, it has digital forum, it has this conference, and I think the Beekler Farm shoot is it, bulls and barrels. So plan your day accordingly. It's only 24 hours long, but that's just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big day.
Yeah, I get to do digital forum in the morning and then I present in the afternoon. So
And I think this would be a good time for Jane Hirst. Do you have your presentation of leading lines?
I
ready?
do. So Jeff, you'll have to tell me again where the button is to include the music portion.
yeah, the bottom left part of the screen when you hit share screen, you'll get a panel that pops up, and you need to check
Oh yeah, share sound. Okay.
share sound, and make sure you do for the video too.
Okay.
Otherwise, it plays a little more jerky than normal.
I'll close my door to this room so we don't have extra noise. All right, now to get there. Should be here. How do I move this? There it goes. Okay,
Well, that was very good.
Yeah, thank you, Jane, and thanks for everybody who put pictures in there. Really shows some of the club's talents and variety. And something that I was going to mention, if you read the newsletter, Brian Jensen, who is the club member, who's also the president of the Astronomical Society that meets at the Modine Benstead Observatory in Union Grove. He's offered to have a private session with our club members on astronomical photography. And it sounds pretty exciting to me. He's going to talk about the various types of equipment that you can use to take photographs, and has some examples there at the observatory, and also should be able to take pictures of Saturn and Jupiter at that time, and there will be a crescent moon, and take some pictures of the transition zone of the shadows on the moon, and also be able to let us view through some of the telescopes. So Union Grove's a little bit of ways south of Milwaukee, and we'll probably see what we can do about getting some carpooling together. And he has a limit of 15 people, so we may want to also check or have people sign up to make sure that we don't exceed that number. And if we get an awful lot of people, maybe we'd talk to him about having a second showing. So there will be more information, finer details in the September newsletter. So how many people are just offhand are interested in going to something like that?
If I remember correct, I believe it's September 24th was the date we were planning on going, and then the rain date would be that Tuesday, September 26th, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be
I
more
think.
visual.
Pardon me?
I was gonna say, for the most part, that night will be more visual work than photography work. I'll demonstrate photography, but with a group that size, it's hard to do any real photography with our members or with our people, just because of the amount of setup time and all that type of stuff. But I'll go
Certainly.
through a lot of that information, and then we'll let everybody take looks through the telescopes and look at Jupiter, Saturn, and the moon. So, and maybe if time allows, some deep sky objects. So,
Okay, sounds terrific. Yeah, other than that, like I say, we'll get some fine details of maps and things like that in the September newsletter, and we can talk about it at the September meeting too, and what kind of carpooling we can do and stuff. So I have left the President's Challenge slideshow, and we'll do that here in a minute, and then we'll do a little bit of brainstorming on ideas for other things for next season. If you've got some things that you want to see, you can start thinking about that. And right now, I'll start up the monthly slideshow, which was flowers and plants.
Roger,
And,
I have quick question.
Sure.
I don't remember it 10 minutes from now. Our next meeting is the picnic?
Correct. July 11th.
Okay, and we have that all taken care of?
Yes, and I believe Ken Warning and Brian Latimus is planning on bringing the ice cream. Patrick Lynch has made the reservations of the picnic shelter, same place we were at last year,
Rotary Park.
Rotary Park, right?
Yeah, I have all the silverware from last year, so I will bring that, you know, with the bowls and the spoons and that.
Great.
Oh, also, Lily Road is open now going north. The bridge is in. So if
Okay.
anybody's coming north on Lily Road to Fond du Lac, that's open now.
Okay.
Will there be games also, or they didn't go over quite as planned last year, or is it was more of a sit in and talk to people and get ideas. The other thing I wanted to ask was, you could bring your own chair. Okay, I got that. God, my mind just went. I'm sorry. Never mind.
We had that
Oh,
big
white
bang.
elephant sale. A white elephant sale, or
Sure. Bring things you'd like for
okay.
offer for other club members to buy or
Yeah,
give away.
okay. All right.
Okay. Then I'll start my slideshow. It's not too long, and then we'll discuss some other ideas for meetings next year. So here we'll start it off. Sound, optimize video, and this. Okay, how come I can't select the screen? There we go. Okay, that's what I've got for this month. Um,
Well, by the way, Roger,
yeah,
one thing to add about next month. I think last year we met about 6 o'clock.
yeah,
We need to be done by dusk. When sundown comes, is around 8:30ish that we need to leave. Because the park
Oh.
closes at sundown,
okay,
just an FYI.
all right. And
We'll
if people-
start at 6. We'll start at 6 then.
Yes, that's what we did last year. We started at
Okay.
6.
yeah,
Okay.
and I imagine that if you want to socialize, if you show up early, there'll be other people to talk to.
Okay.
So, does anyone have certain subjects that they'd like to hear about next year?
Before you start that, Roger,
Yeah.
we've been a little lax on show and tell, and there's been some really nice, especially with the plants at the greenhouse and some of the other situations. Can we get some people to start to sign up now, or
Sure.
at least tell me next month? But the more I put it off, the more people forget about it, and then it's like, okay, we have nothing, and there's some really nice ones out there. So is anybody willing to volunteer? Let's see. September,
Ellen, I
October,
can.
January, they're all open for next year.
Okay.
Was that Patty?
Yeah, just pick a date and plug me in and tell me when.
Okay. Oh, golly, I love your ease. Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you for show and tell for the next 12 months.
Ellen,
It
I
might
will
make
as
me get
well.
off my butt a little more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
Ellen,
right,
this is Ken. I can do one of those too.
all right.
Alan, this is Roger. I can do one after January. January
All
or
right.
later.
All right, Roger.
Ellen,
Ellen,
this is-
Linnea, I can do like November or February.
All right,
Ellen, this is Pat. I can, whenever you want to plug me in, just let me know.
okay.
Can you
remind me
what it is?
Show and tell usually works with whatever you are working on, whatever you want to show that you have been doing within the last well, it's not even a couple months. It's just, some of your favorite photos, how you're working, how you might be changing. So it's basically a very personal. I think Brian showed some of his safari pictures. There were, so it just varies with whatever some people are working on. If I'm not mistaken, some people were working on different backgrounds. I don't know if that was Jane, or I'm going back a couple years now too. So however you're handling some of the new cameras, new ideas, or if you're switching from cars to birds, so it's basically a 7-minute presentation. Sometimes there are words, sometimes there are no words. You can just run a series. So it's sort of open-ended, but at least it lets the other members know what's going on personally with some others in the club.
And Ellen, I don't know if other people would be interested, but some of the photos that I have seen people shoot just wow me. And I would like to know their settings, like if they're shooting high ISO, so I don't know if that is of interest, if that could ever be put by a photo. And if it's just me, I'm okay with that. I'll figure it out.
I like that idea, Linnea, because I struggle with knowing how to do things and stuff, because basically I don't do enough photography.
But there's just so many different effects that can be done by your settings. And some of these pictures, I'm just like, mine don't look like that. How come? So
Yeah, it has to do a lot with technique and that. So, but the settings, you got to have sometimes the correct settings, but sometimes you can manipulate the settings to get a different result than other people have. So, yeah, I think it's great because it is a camera club and we are supposed to learn and also share our photography, our experiences.
Well, post-processing is a big thing too.
Yes.
That makes a difference in some photos.
Yeah. If you haven't done it before, it can be as simple as just doing a slideshow of some of your recent pictures, or showing some techniques. Like I did one on how I've been doing focus stacking. And so
Well, here's something that can also be done. I might regret this. But if I have the names of these people ahead of time and I know they're going to show, I can contact you beforehand. Hopefully you will know before the week what you're going to be showing, and then I can get some more detailed information. And for those of you who are just going, oh my God, I need to put a slideshow together tonight. Okay, then it's just a slideshow. There's no problem with that. But if you're working on something special, I can always contact you just to get the details and put them in the newsletter, along with the fact, of photographic interest in that area of whoever it might be doing the show and tell that particular month. So that's a possibility as well. Or you could
me personally, that's really sweet, but I don't want to put that on you. So I guess if somebody is showing photos and they don't mind sharing, if they could, but I'm not asking you to do more work, like searching for people. Hey, what did you do?
Okay, but then maybe we could lengthen it just slightly and have them explain what they did. That might be simpler then, because you're right.
Or allow just a couple extra minutes for the group to ask questions of the presenter.
Oh, okay. That sounds even better. All right. Thank you for
in January.
Yeah, and I did have a suggestion for those that are interested in learning what settings are for different photographs. What I do before I usually go shoot is I go on Flickr and I look for images that are along the lines of what I want to photograph. And I get ideas on framing and just a general idea of what I want. And then all of the metadata is posted with most of the photos, unless the photographer blocks it. And not very many do that, just usually the professionals do. But I've learned a lot about photo settings just from research on Flickr, and I imagine some of the other photo sharing websites do the same. So that's a really good way to kind of get some ideas before you go out and shoot, what kind of settings you want in your camera, what kind of images you want to capture, that sort of thing.
Would it be advantageous to have a presentation where we go over the basic settings and their effects of ISO and f-stops and shutter speeds and all of that? Do you feel that'd be worthwhile in that?
I'm actually comfortable with that, but some of the images that I see, it's kind of like, wow, was that a long exposure? Did they use a tripod? So no, I'm very comfortable. I shoot manual. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm good with that. I don't know if other people are interested, but just some of the pictures just wow me. And it's like the effects, it's like, I wonder what they used, you know? So just as an idea,
Okay,
I can always reach out to anybody and ask them too.
Usually if one person wants to know, there's at least another or 6 who want to know as well. So I mean, found that out. Even if I didn't want to know, it was like, oh, wait, maybe I could try something like that.
so does anybody have ideas for presentations for next year? Certain subjects you're interested in?
Roger, before you go there, one of the things that I really get a lot out of is when someone presents, very much like Jeff did, a photo and then it's been modified, you know, finding the way they did that. I mean, with some of the new stuff that's out there, I mean, we could really have a lot of fun with this. AI as an example, as to what you could turn, let's say, a mediocre photo into something that's either great, ridiculous, or whatever. But that might be an interesting topic going forward with all the modifications and things that can be done now with Photoshop and everything else out there.
Yeah,
And that can also be something I think that people who do a show and tell can say that they are experimenting with this and get more information, because that's really becoming a big thing all over the place.
yeah,
Well, it's also kind of hard too, in that there's so many different softwares out there. Everyone uses a little different. I mean, the majority is Lightroom and Photoshop, but there's a few people that use On1 and some other softwares out there, Elements.
I did bring up to Jeff that I would like somebody, experts, to talk about the best new hardware you should have for running all this more advanced things, so that my computer goes like this instead of like this.
Spend $10,000, get a supercomputer.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know mine. I got a liquid cool radiator and everything else. I got, you know, it's pretty powerful, and it's takes a lot on this new software.
Yeah, it does.
I have
Not as bad on Apple.
I have a Dell Alienware laptop and desktop that I put a lot of memory in, and good graphics, fast graphics card and stuff. And there are no programs that are so slow on either one.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of technical advice I think that we need. You know, what to look for, you know, what the brands are, you know, what those different components are when you're picking out your computer.
And my Alienware laptop, which I'm using right now, boot time is 6 seconds.
Yeah. And of course, backing up your photos and that's another big topic.
Yeah.
Boring topic, but
Yeah, it's not so boring after you lose something.
yeah.
So who's taking notes on all these good ideas?
I am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary.
We can always watch YouTube again and then take the notes too from that. It's being recorded, so.
Yeah.
You know, some of this information is readily available. And I wonder if we couldn't, as a club, put together maybe the top, let's say 10 websites or something of that nature that could be a resource for us to answer the kind of questions that are coming up. And maybe on a routine basis, change the 10 websites every couple of months and have that in the newsletter as to some place to go, be it a YouTube site or, whatever. And we've got some great photographers nationally that, have information readily available as well that we could access if you could possibly remember who all they are. I mean, there's so many of them out there, and some of them are very, very good, and some are just mild, mediocre, but it's out there. You just have to dig around and find it. And having it readily available, maybe on a routine basis, might help all of us keep up, if you will.
And maybe even each month we could have an individual list their favorite top 10 that they use. Because everybody's going to have a different mix and know of different photographers.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I mean, I follow at least a half a dozen guys on YouTube, and it's literally every night, and there's just some great photographers, landscape guys,
Maybe we could replace tips and hints that we haven't been doing much with lately with something like that, where somebody could volunteer and give a list of photographers they like to follow, YouTube sites.
Yeah, I think last year I sent out the list of all of YouTube people I follow, and that there are some very talented people out there.
Clint, yes, you did. And it was a fairly long list. And if I remember correctly, so I would use it, but I think I would break it down into smaller bites.
Yeah, it was quite long.
Yes.
I propose a challenge in September. Each one of us brings our favorite website or photographer that we follow, and then let's do a roll call, and then we can take notes as you present the name of the individual or whoever you're following, and then right there we've got 25 or 30 people. So that's my challenge for September.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and I can put it on the website, and Ellen can put it in the newsletter.
Okay.
So yeah,
talking about
people just need to come up with their, the person's name and a link.
Yeah.
So that we can link it so that it's easier to get to.
Okay.
Talking about the website, should we set up a sign up sheet for our 7-minute, maybe even 10-minute now long presentation on our pictures? Would that be easier, so we know what's open and what's not? Or is that more work?
You're talking about show and tell?
Yes, correct. For show and tell.
Ellen's tracking that, right?
Ellen pretty much keeps track of that. We generally do put it on the website. For if you look for that meeting day, it shows the show and tell, tips and hints if we have anything, and what the speaker is, and the speaker's website, and all that information.
Yeah, I know it was also in the newsletter too, correct in that.
Yeah, so it's on both spots. So once Ellen puts out the newsletter, then I put it on the website, because
I think Clint was more trying to get it so that it was like interactive.
Yeah,
that it could just occur to me, let's see what's available and go out there and put my name down.
Yeah, there isn't an interactive that would be inexpensive to set up, at least that I know of right now.
Okay.
I know of one that would work, is we can pass around the list at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like what we used to do for the,
easy.
treats and, snacks.
Yeah. And along that side, Do most of the links work when you get the newsletter? Has anybody been having trouble with
No.
clicking on the links? Because that was a bear for me to figure out in the beginning, the difference between,
The
anyway.
ones I've gone to all work just fine.
Okay, okay. All right. And it's kind of hard to know if it doesn't work if
Yeah.
if you click on it and you're not here and you can't tell me. So I'm going to assume, because I usually do a test run, that most of the links do work unless I am notified that that you might be having trouble with it. So that's all.
Okay. Are there any other subject areas people want to learn about? From nature photography, flower photography, abstracts,
Flash photography.
flash photography, yeah.
I did see the Photoshop arc put on by Joel Sartori sometime last month, and that was very good about the lighting system that he uses now to shoot some of those animals against the black background or the white background. So
Yeah.
and what he has to go through once in a while to get some of those shots, but that was really, really good with the, it was only about an hour long, but it was, yeah, photo arc, and what he has done for the National
Yeah, I saw
Geographic.
that too. And I really loved the white background that he set up for the monkeys. And the first thing they did was took a hand to the paper and pulled it out of the whole cage. It was gone
Less
in
than
2
10
seconds.
seconds, it was gone. Yep. Yep. So,
Would we be interested in a sports photographer coming and talking to us? There's
Yeah.
a guy named John Fisher that I'm working on for Digital Forum, but might also be good for our group if we're enough interested people.
That
I'd be
one year we
interested.
had that photographer that came in from Green Bay.
Yeah, there was some photographer we had. Yeah, the Green Bay Packer photographer.
Yeah.
This guy it's a guy that lives in the state here and shoots quite a bit of different sports, and he's willing to do some talks. I don't know if he wants to do. I'm working on it for Digital Forum, but might be something we could also use here.
Jeff, I'd be interested if like the Bucks or the Brewers photographers, the one of the other sports leagues had a thing where they had their presentation, and a photographer for the Boston Red Sox, he talked about it's not just going out on the field, all the stuff he had to do with community relations, corporate stuff. I don't know if we could get somebody to do that for us.
Well, this guy, oh, I just lost it here. Where'd it go? Yeah, John Fisher is, excuse me, he shoots sports. He's based out of Burlington, Wisconsin, but he shoots for Getty, doing and Sports Illustrated, New York Times, ESPN. He shoots quite a few different sports. Let's see if I can, not the private one here. He's got stuff where he has shot, has shot some stuff of the Packers, Brewers, the Badgers. Has some really, well, here, instead of me just talking about it.
I think you'd be a great candidate.
So this is some of his pictures.
Who does he shoot for, Jeff?
Mainly Getty, it looks like. But he shoots for magazines and that. He's out of Burlington. He also does portraits and different things. Jerry Hein knows him and suggested he might be good for Digital Forum, and then I was started to think, well, maybe he might be good for our club too, because it's a lot of the interesting sports stuff. I mean, he has some great photography.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for if we could get him for.
The big trick is, can we get him at a reasonable price?
Yeah.
And such. That's all. I haven't talked to him yet. I just started looking at it, but he does senior portraits, he does specialty stuff, and he does events. So he does quite a bit. And I just looking at his photos, this is the kind of guys that, he may be willing to do it inexpensively. And if he does, great. And if not, we try somebody else. And I've got a couple people that I might be able to get that shoot like at Road America. And I've got one guy that shoots Road America, and he does some other sports in that we might be able to get him. So I've got some sources, not a whole lot. If anybody else comes across, I mean, this is just, a photographer that's shooting sports and senior portraits and that. So if anybody else runs across somebody, see if they're willing to talk.
I had the Okazaki Press photographer last fall, and that was pretty interesting. I don't know if there are other news photographers in the area that'd be.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I don't know many of them anymore. And most of the photographers I do know are getting pretty old and passing away.
Yeah.
So.
Jeff, this guy looks really impressive. I think it'd be great if you could get him.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, I'm first shooting for Digital Forum, and then I'll see if I can get him for. The big trick is that he has to be available and not shooting a game or something like that. So Digital Forum might be more of a problem getting him because it's a Saturday.
Sure.
Compared to a Tuesday night. So it gives me some options of what I can do with him. But I'm certainly going to be contacting him. So if anybody else has somebody, in any area of photography, give me a name or contact them and see if they're willing to talk. It's nice that we do a lot of nature and landscape stuff, but it's sort of nice if we get into some of these other side ones.
Oh, it's nice because we did that, 2 months ago, that aviation photographer. Did a fantastic job. This guy would be a fantastic guy too, because sports, so we hit everything from nature to, sports to wildlife. I think it's great.
Yeah, because but we get names, we can contact them and see if they're willing to come and talk. I just don't know a lot of names of these people. I do have a list of names that I will work on for nature and other stuff, but
I remember that one woman that we had. She was from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. She had a lot of stuff on front pages. I forget what her name was, but that was like 15 years ago, I think. 15 years ago. So it's been a while.
Yeah. So I've run out of sort of people that I can contact because I haven't been doing a lot of this stuff lately. So the stuff changes pretty fast. So send me names of people that you know, especially local photographers in Wisconsin. I'm going to work on, I do have a list of people that I will be working on, but it's, some of them get expensive too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be realistic too. We can't have unlimited funds.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go to $150 for a speaker for the evening, but we can only do that 4 or 5 times in a season.
Yeah.
Jeff, with your contacts in WACO, do you have any idea what other clubs in this WACO group do when they have Zoom meetings and who they might bring in?
Well, they have the same problem we have.
Okay.
WACO has created on their website a page of speakers, but they're pretty much the speakers right now that I've used or WACO has used and we know about that are sort of reasonable now. We're going to try to get, I'm going to try to get Mike Mizul, since he had canceled on us this year, to try to come and talk about storm photography again. So we'll try to get him back. But we'll, you know.
With that individual, I remember because he did the volcanoes and then the tornadoes, but it also
Right.
sounds like he does for also National Geographic too in that. So
He shoots for a bunch of different places, but he shoots mainly the volcano stuff, the storm stuff, and then he's getting into the night photography too.
He also
So, you know,
does
shooting
extreme canyon photography, Jeff. They ran a special, I mean, they ran something with him doing exploring some of the canyons in the Southwest.
Oh, okay.
He does it on an extreme basis.
Yeah, he's young enough he can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's also in the process of putting together how to do time lapse and put them together with LR time lapse. And he's looking at putting something together and having it available next year.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm definitely going to talk to him because he sort of owes this group one talk.
Yeah, he filled in randomly last minute, like we contacted them day before our WEAR meeting and he happened to be available on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So came and did the storm one, which is always awesome.
Yeah, that's always a neat one. Yeah, he had a family emergency where he had to fly somewhere, and which is why he canceled on us. But I know he'd be happy to come and talk again, just not during storm season.
it looks like Ian's got something he wants to be a panelist, so he just joined late in that. So he
Is he
has
okay?
a comment probably.
Yeah, I know why.
Elizabeth, did you have any other good speakers at Retzer this year?
No, Retzer's having a lot of problems right now, so no.
Well, what's the other one you go to? Where?
Yep.
How about them? Have they had any speakers?
Yeah, let me go back through and look. And in fact, we had someone who was supposed to do intentional camera movement for us last month, and she ended up with COVID, which is when Mike stepped in for us.
Oh.
So we've had a couple. So let me go back through and I'll have to see who they were and get the list out. I'll send it to Jeff.
Yeah, they also had that Christine Heinrich who does stuff in downtown Milwaukee.
Yep, that was at Retzer.
Yeah, it just, you know, we just need names because it gets tricky. I have 26 speakers that I can look at, and we've already used some. and some of them aren't exactly inexpensive, which gets to be somewhat of a problem. And I don't know, we've got some people that we can redo again, like Hazel Meredith. Who was the other one? Lewis Katz.
Well, what if
So-
one of our members, does a presentation on whatever, like aviation photography, I remember Steve, that used to do the hockey and stuff like that, and then down at the Pennant.
Yeah, that was just a group outing.
Correct. But maybe we could, incorporate that with the, being a guest speaker. It's like, hey, I'll be a guest speaker to do this, kind of tell them what we do.
Clint, how about your EAA? Can you do something with either EAA material, or do you run into any of the photographers that are there that you could talk to about?
I bump into them here and there. I believe I met Jim. I think it was Jim that was for digital forum. I believe I met him once in that. But yeah, I have my media credentials this year, and I could probably run into a few people and get my give them my business card and also get their business card too, so I can try to make some contacts. There's one guy I met. He does it's more video than photography, pictures, and he did for Cirrus, the airplanes. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. What he done. It's like all these videos are what I've done. It's like, oh, this is actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going there again this year, next month, and that in July. So yeah, I can go around and make some connections.
Okay. And you're the one that got that guy from Crivello's. Is there any other subjects from Crivello's that they were good in that they were free?
Correct. I know I talked to Jeff about maybe we can have an in-person hands-on, maybe on a Saturday. I can contact him on that about maybe setting something that up for over the summer, or maybe in fall time, down in the basement. Maybe we could do some hands-on experience with, constant lighting, flash photography and stuff like that. So I'll contact him about that.
Yeah.
Because he sounded
once
like he
we-
was really interested in doing something like that for our camera club.
Yeah. I remember once we did a tour of their basement, and it was pretty fascinating to not only see their studio, but they also showed where their audio and video editing rooms were, and the equipment that they did it and worked with there. I didn't realize that they had made radio commercials and things like that.
Oh, another source I thought of, I'm still in touch with Marcia Gatto, who used to be a member, and she is affiliated with a large club over in the Madison area that's big on education. So she might be interested in doing a program for us, or she may be able to recommend some people from the Madison area. That'd be a little bit out of our circle, but not that terribly far away.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they may have a different list of people too that they use for presentations that
Right.
would be good.
I
to
know they
tap on.
had one photographer over that way that actually got published in National Geographic, who's just a phenomenal wildlife photographer. He does like birds underwater, pelicans going underwater and all kinds of crazy things. But he's got some amazing images. And Marcia's been doing, she had a gallery show, so she's doing well with her photography. So she might want to talk about what it takes, to put together a gallery show or something.
Sure.
But I could reach out to her and see and let her know what we're looking for and see if she can come up with some names.
So Patty, you talking about the Midwest Photo Group out of Madison?
Yeah.
Hey, you look at their newsletters and get on their list, and you can see all the speakers that they have, and they really have some outstanding speakers.
Yeah, I'm actually on the list, but I just haven't had time to go on it lately. So, yeah, I can take a little trip on my computer and see what they have going on.
Hey, Jeff, I had suggested Bruce Dance to you back in January. Did you ever follow up on him? I sent you an email. We talked.
Yeah,
about
I
that.
remember the email. That's what I'm just looking. I'm going through all my lists of emails here from everybody.
January 18th of this year. January 18th.
Yeah.
Bruce Dance.
He's
out of Appleton and seems to do some really great photography. I've seen him on Facebook over the years. Haven't seen him recently.
Yeah, for some reason I've lost that email. It was one that I was planning to check on. Why don't you send me his info again, Brian?
I'll send you a little.
For some reason I've lost it here. It could be that I'm just not. I flag a lot. I get a lot of flagged emails for people I want to check out.
You got it.
Yeah.
Brian,
I did get an email from a guy. This was for Wacko, but he's actually from the UK, and he's looking to put on presentations. Robert Canis. He does wildlife and landscape photography. He lives in the UK, southeast England, otherwise known as the Garden of England. And he does 60 and 90 minutes. I don't remember what his costs were. His fees, it's 85 euros. I don't know how that converts. Or no,
it's close to 1-to-1 right now.
Yeah, it's British pounds actually, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I check. Bruce is in, local. He's Appleton. He travels.
Yeah, I'll certainly.
Stuff, Jeff,
I could swear I had started to look at it, and I don't remember what I came up with.
Well, maybe you didn't like him. I don't know.
No, I usually I move them over to a different spot that's for me to be able to do it, but could be that I was going through one of my email purchases because I had like 50,000 emails. And
Jeff, nevertheless, I just forwarded you another copy of it. So go.
Okay, great, thank you. I will check him out and put him on the list.
So,
Brian, do you ever run into the whoever's the official photographer for the zoo? They must have someone.
Over the years, well, I don't know. Usually they got 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I've run into most recently, it hasn't been this year, but last year, and I mean, he was doing a lot of great work. I mean, just putting together videos, drone stuff. Of course, some of it was, promoting the zoo, but then some of it he does put on Facebook. And so, what would the theme be? Just how to photograph animals?
Well, it could be that, or it could be describing what his job is like, what kinds of setups he uses, or what kind of calls he gets to photograph stuff. And
Well, you know what's really cool is probably with this individual, he gets behind the scenes. You know, like
Right.
when I do my concert video, concert photography, I get behind the scenes. So I get different, sometimes different pictures that the average person cannot get.
Clint, you're absolutely right. Like, especially if there's a newborn. I remember we had newborn jaguar, and whoever was doing zoo photography at the time, was invited to go back behind the scenes and did some good work. And so that's how you get those early shots. You'll see things before the public, and I can research that, and I will do that. Thank you. Good idea.
Yeah, and I hear there's this concert photographer that might want to talk about what he does.
Yeah, I can do that too. With aviation and everything, there's a few things, like even at the EAA, there's a few things I just can't talk about, but that's behind the scenes and classified. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Linnea's a very good concert photographer.
Yep.
She's smiling.
It's because I had to. Nobody else was taking pictures, so I had to. Thank you.
Sometimes being thrown underneath the bus is sometimes the best way to learn, and that on the run too. And that, oh man,
that's an interesting phrase. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Yep.
I'm assuming that as a club, Menomonee Falls is a member of PSA.
Yeah.
So both Ware and Retzer have done a meeting with Haida Stover. She is from PSA, and it is an interactive meeting on image analysis. And it was a lot of fun. And I will tell you, she's going to go over the 2 hours. It's probably a 2.5 hour meeting, but it's free of charge. And it's a lot of really good information. So I can send you her information her contact information if you want.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Say, Jeff, Dan Anderson from Ellison Bay is now offering a drone course. And I'm wondering if maybe he would be interested in doing a presentation for the club at a reasonable rate.
Yeah, we probably could get him to do that. He did it for Digital Forum, and he got his feet wet doing Zoom presentations with us. So we can certainly check on him.
The guy that did the African safaris for the Digital Forum, I would imagine that he didn't charge for that presentation because he was mostly selling, right?
Well, he didn't charge because he's a customer of mine, and I gave him a couple hours of free service.
Oh, okay.
But he would probably be more than happy to give that same presentation to the club if we wanted.
I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, he has some really nice photos. He's been doing it for a long time. I can ask him. He would probably be more than happy to do it if we're interested in it.
I'm not sure who we could get, but I have an interest in finding out what it takes, how they do it to become a photographer who, takes people to the Faroe Islands or Iceland on photo trips. How did they get started? What does it take? I mean, they're out there charging $4,000 or $5,000 a head to fly halfway around the world and show and show people places to take pictures, it just seems, really interesting to me. I don't know who we could ask. I met, there's a Joe Garza guy in Madison. He's all over the place taking pictures. Dan Anderson is another guy. How did they get started? Is it worth a presentation? I know I would be interested.
Yeah, more on the business aspect, but it is interesting, like how did you start, how do you sign up for people and that? So it's more of like a business aspect, but I think it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, well, I see a number of them. What they start off doing is doing these presentations to clubs and groups and stuff and get people interested in the kinds of photography that they're doing, that they get people interested enough to come along when they arrange a trip.
Well,
But still, there's a
Yeah.
big step there.
Yeah, well,
The big trick is knowing the spot that you want to photograph in. You really need, none of them go to those places cold. A lot of them have
Sure.
gone there a number of years, and then a lot of them go there the month before to scope it out even further. Yeah, but I could see if like Dan Anderson, or even Ken, you think Brian Hansel? He does quite a few.
That's another guy, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Brian would do something simple like that. Be willing to talk about that. But yeah, we got a couple of people we could ask at least.
Something else that's kind of interested me related to that is there are a lot of people that do like webinars and things like that. And I don't know how they always get money from that. There's always ways that, you can charge a person to watch the webinar, but there's other ways with advertising and stuff that I don't know how that whole internet stuff works for making money.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking like the YouTube people that are generating income that way.
Yeah, a lot has to do with how many people they've got following them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it is really promotion and getting 100,000 or more followers. Then you start to be able to generate income from all the advertising that YouTube throws on your channel. I know just enough to know that I didn't want to get into it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
it's
just
a
kind
whole
of curious
business.
because I know there are a number of people out there making big money off of it somehow, and have no concept how that business works.
I sent in the chat. I met these people. They're Todd. They're a father and son, Todd and Brad Reed. They're out of Ludington, Michigan, and I met the son a couple times. And that they have workshops. Ones with lighthouses and stuff like that. I can maybe contact them. They have their own art gallery with all their photos and stuff like that. I've been in there several times and they do fantastic work, and their website is just amazing. They got canvas paintings and whatnot, books, magazines that they published.
Yeah, that could. It's hard making money as a photographer.
No, I know.
Or as any kind of webinar presenter or YouTuber, it's times have changed so much because almost anybody can grab a camera these days.
Well, what's really hard, you can spend $10,000-$20,000 on camera equipment, and like even with concert, photography, some only want to pay you $100. Same thing with real estate. You're like, well, we're only going to give you $150. If you have a drone, well, we'll give you another $25. So it's like, you can spend 30, even with the drone, you can spend like $30,000. It's like, it doesn't, how can one, pay for all this equipment? And then it takes time to process these pictures, and also it takes time and wear and tear on your vehicle and gas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did it for 40 years. And then let me tell you, it's a lot more than $20,000 or $30,000 for equipment.
No, absolutely. Well, then think too in that, because I mean, I had one that is like, well, we do some concerts up in Eagle River, and that is like, that doesn't even pay for my gas and that. I was like, I'll be losing money.
Yeah.
So now I don't expect to have a private jet and a private helicopter to land me in a Rolls Royce, front door service, at these places, but I want to be somewhat realistic on price too.
Well, you do this, Clint. I think you do the small bands to get yourself established and get the photos. That
Correct.
gets you the big bands, and
Correct.
getting to the big bands is always tough because that's a whole different industry. It's the same as shooting sports photography. It's
Correct.
You start small and you got to grow, and it's changed a lot since when I used to do a lot of that stuff. I never did music too much. I did sports and newspaper, but
what's nice is I have my own website, and what's nice is I'm using it as a portfolio. It's like, this is the type of work that I can do. And that this is, I show them a range of, photography that I do.
yeah.
From sports to, landscape to concerts, whatever. So I try to throw a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
So we're still talking about possible speakers. At some point, can we talk about outings, maybe? If there's anybody any more, if anybody else has more suggestions on speakers. We're always looking for
ideas on places to go to. We need that too.
Well, that's same question, Jeff.
Yeah. I just reworded what you said.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a question. I'm a member of the EAA at my chapter on the board of directors there, might be vice president coming up. We have a couple members that have their own airplanes. Would anyone be interested in aviation photography, going up in an airplane, maybe a helicopter, or maybe even going for, let's say, an overnight, let's say Mackinac Island?
I think, Clint, you'd have to keep it something local. I don't think overnight would work. I think if you can get does your pilots have above wing?
Yes, some do, but then too, in that is I have a picture of Madison. I went there 2 weeks ago. They can dip the wing and that, and I was shooting the airplane that's going on a 45, and I'm taking a shot out the window on that. So
yeah, that's the tough way to do an aerial shot, but it can be done.
And I got a pretty cool shot of Madison, downtown Madison.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also Holy Hill in that we can fly around in that, especially what would be great is fall time colors.
Well, and the other thing would be is that, most of those planes only hold 2-3 people. So you'd have to keep it either local so that, if we had 5 or 6 or 8 people that you could fly, drop off and pick up and fly around and drop back off again.
Correct. You can do that.
You could do a 170. If you could do a 172, that's probably the easiest way to be able to photograph from a plane, is using the 172. You could use a lower wing. It's a lot harder for somebody that's never photographed from a plane before. But just to get just to go flying, would be probably interesting for a lot of people that maybe haven't flown in a little plane.
I was going to
It's
ask.
definitely an experience.
Can we wing walk?
No, it's not allowed.
Hey Clint, I
Yeah.
was just checking out your website. I would definitely hire you. Your photos are fantastic.
Not too bad. I mean, I'm improving. It's nice to have newer equipment. I'm going to be throwing I call it crappy pictures, and I'm going to replace them with new pictures and that. So, and also my old pictures, basically I was using cheap, free Photoshop editing and that software out there. Well, you get mediocre pictures. Now with using On1, I'm getting my quality has really improved dramatically, really. But I mean, it's expensive. I mean, you know, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. You know, it's expensive with this equipment and that.
Hey, Clint, it's gotten a lot cheaper currently than what it used to be 30 years ago.
I agree. And if you're not, printing everything, and I think about how much I'm saving on film. My God, film. I mean, think of some of our members. We have 100, 200, 300, 400,000 pictures. That's a lot of money to develop per picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were talking 36 shots, and it would be between film and processing, close to $15 for 36 shots.
And not all of
And-
them worked out very well either, so.
Nope.
Absolutely.
You had a problem with that.
Nope. I would shoot 20 or 30 rolls at a convention or something and have a ton of money in, and then you get people that just ordered a few photos. It's
Well, what's nice is
definitely
with this-
different today.
What's nice is with this new equipment, you got face detection, eye detection. You can pretty much nail the shot. Almost I'd say good 90% of the time. It depends, the shooting environment, but
Yeah.
outdoors and stuff like that. And if you have the settings correct, you can nail it pretty good. It's almost impossible, unless you made a mistake, because it's very unlikely the camera makes a mistake.
Yeah, the exposure metering is so much better now.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, you don't have to think now. All right. So if we do workshops or field trips, I guess, do we all want to keep doing the zoo? I take it that's one that everybody enjoys.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah. Okay. And we want to keep doing Shady Lane, I would
Definitely.
imagine.
yeah,
It's a big one for us.
Yeah.
So the Harley
I
120.
I went back to Shady Lane the next weekend, actually. So yeah.
Yeah. That somebody just mentioned the Harley Museum. Would that be something that we'd be interested in going to?
That's a cool museum if you've never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year is the Harley 120th anniversary as well, so there'll be a lot of bikes descending on the city.
Yeah, I'll
And
be
their
down
band
there
is
taking a lot of
playing
pictures.
too.
Yeah. They just did a meetup a couple blocks away from where I am this last weekend, I guess.
Yeah, they all
Every-
drove by my house too, Jeff. There was like 100 or more.
Yep.
Every
Um,
Thursday night at the museum, the Harley Museum, they have bike night too. So people are looking for motorcycles to take pictures of.
Oh, there you go. We can see once if the Harley Museum would let. I know they've done it for certain clubs already, where they've gone and they've let people bring in some small light stands and some tripods and that. It has to be sort of on an off night for them, but
Yeah.
or maybe an afternoon. But we can check.
Yeah, that would be a ton of fun.
Another
Shady
really
Lanes.
beautiful field trip is up at Solu Winery. So it's in the Northern Kettle Moraine Forest, and our band just played there on Saturday, and they have 2 stages, they have 2 ponds, all the grapes. The guests are able to walk through 2 of their 20-acre, 40-acre vineyards. So I was up there last year probably 5 times just shooting, but they would probably easily, and I know the photographer up there welcome like a camera club visit, and it's just gorgeous. It's just serene.
Hmm,
If
It is
anybody is
great.
interested.
I agree with
That
you
would
on
be
that. And
good.
also, if you're hungry, you can get something to eat and that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great time. And if people want to do concert photography, I mean, granted, this is in the daytime, it's not like low light, you know, they can practice with this.
You know, actually, Clint, it's interesting. They have a brand new stage which is a photographer's challenge. So my person, or actually our band is Vinyl Road. So I posted our pictures. They're also very dog friendly. So I had beautiful puppy pictures, scenery pictures, but their stage now is bland because they're building it. So if you're trying to make photos look interesting of people during the day, you've got this big white tent background. So, but it's gorgeous. So that I know the owners very well. I know the photographer. So if anybody's interested in that, I could easily make a connection there.
Yeah, that'd probably be good. Any other spots that people would like to go, have us go to?
Well, I was thinking of spots, and one that there was a camera club had a outing to some farm and gardens on the north side of Sheboygan that supposedly was really great, but I didn't
The
get to go
Christopher
there.
Gardens.
Christopher Gardens, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have to have special connections to get a group to be able to come there. I know it's only by reservation.
That was Phyllis from,
Urban ecology.
yeah.
Yep. She's the one who set that up 2 years in a row now for the urban ecology.
Yeah, doesn't she allow our club to come to those? Ian?
She does. We came the first year she set it up. I was like, "You mind if I invite this club?" And she said, "Sure." And I know last year we had a bunch of people show up.
Yeah. Jesse, were you with us too, Patty, where we all got lost?
No, that was Tom's sister was with us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got lost. I mean, that is a big garden. I know Joe was there one year, Joe Higdon, maybe the year before. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
What I like about
I
these,
think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what I like about these type of trips and that, you know, us as a photographer camera club, we can take the pictures and we can promote. It's like, here's our pictures, you know, please advertise this, you know, you have free, you know, reins, whatever, for any advertisement, you know, here's the pictures, you know, just let us, you know, just, you know, say that it was the Menomonee Falls Camera Club that, you know, did the pictures for you guys.
Yeah. A couple other places that might be good for a camera club outing. One would be the Automobile Museum in Hartford. Again, that's usually by a reservation. I have not been there, but I hear it's very good. And then there's Greenbush. I don't know how much is there as to how long it would take for a group to go through there.
Oh, you mean the Wade House?
Wade
Out in
House, yeah.
Greenbush? Yeah, that's a day thing.
Yeah.
And or if you go during one of their reenactments, that's even more interesting.
Yeah. There's something that's held at the old Menomonee Falls town place.
Yeah, Old Falls Village is Nancy Griefenhagen, a former member of ours, is putting on all these different photo things. They have the World War II, I think it is now, is what she's doing, or is it just the Civil War?
Yeah, that's in June, Jeff, and then later on they've got the Civil War a little bit later.
Yeah.
Civil War already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did. One of them already happened.
Civil War.
That might have been the Revolutionary
The
War.
Revolutionary,
You're
I
right.
went.
You're right. You're right.
Those, though, she
And-
charges quite a bit to get in, I think, on some of them.
No, those are only like $5 or $10 to get.
Oh, are they? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the ones that she used to do where it was $100 to get in.
No, those were the ones she was running that she hired.
Yeah.
She hired all the actors for.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um,
Another one that's interesting is the rendezvous camp at Sackville, but that was last week or so.
And Jeff, I live in your area. What about Heritage Park right on 164? They always have the threshery and different, I mean, it's a beautiful park for scenery, but I've never been
Right,
to
yeah.
that.
It's got a number of nice buildings. The Threshery is in September, the third weekend in September. The third week this month, they're holding an art fair.
Right.
Um,
But I've never been to any of them, so I don't know if that would make kind of a, I mean, it's a
the
beautiful
Threshery is
setting.
nice because they have a lot of old tractors and old equipment and that. So that's pretty decent. So
Do they
I
do
would,
running demonstrations with them?
yeah,
Well, that would be cool.
yeah. That's a fun one to go to. It gets pretty crowded. There's a lot of people there, but
Mhm.
it's can be a lot of fun. I used to photograph that quite a bit. I haven't gone the last couple of years.
well, I
Would
did
there-
a Tough Mudder there in May. That's always a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Would there be any interest in a weekend trip to the waterfalls of Marinette County? That would be a nice couple-day trip. If anybody would be interested, I don't know how we could work out the logistics of, where to stay and all, but that would be a nice weekend trip.
Yeah, the only trick is finding somebody to run that
Mhm.
or organize it.
What about Old World, Wisconsin?
Yeah, that's a good place too. There's a lot of stuff to photograph there.
It's only $20, what I remember. I think it's from 10 till 4. I think they're open till.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
And the Renaissance Fair is always fun in the summer.
Yeah,
Yep.
we used to do that on a regular basis.
I love that place.
You guys were talking about Christopher Garden. I don't know if this club's ever done Albright Garden in Madison. It's about the same, at least for me, Menomonee Falls, it's about the same distance as Christopher Garden. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever been there. I'm partial to the Chicago Botanic Garden, but the Albright is also very pretty.
yeah.
I heard right now that there's so much construction, you can't even find your way in at the moment.
Oh, okay. I haven't been
that
there,
bad?
so it's
Yeah.
been a while. I haven't been there in 2 years. I was just looking up when I
Yeah.
was there last.
Yeah. and
Other
there's,
interesting spot is the Capitol.
It is true.
Sure.
That's
You actually
Yeah.
could make that a 2-for-1 trip. But, you know,
yeah, you could.
assuming-
Yeah, Ken and I
Albright's
have done
open.
that where we've done both.
That's
That's usually what I do.
that could be an overnighter too,
Yeah.
Capital at night.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you do that on a Saturday, I think it's second half of the summer or whatever, that they've got the farmer's market there, which could be some photographic opportunities too.
Yes, I believe you're right in that State Street area.
Farmers Market is open now.
Okay.
It's a really nice farmer's market. I've been there.
Yep.
Just because we went to the kids museum and we're like, oh look, farmers. This is cool.
So another opportunity, even though I can't get the guy to call me back, he might call someone else back, is up in Baraboo. And we were going to do a 2-for-1 thing with the Crane Foundation, but there is a new craft brewery, the A.L. Ringling Brothers Craft Brewery, whatever. The building is just one of the coolest buildings you'll see, and even decorated on the inside in the brewery. But it's the whole Ringling Mansion, and they do tours of the mansion part. So we were going to go tour in the mansion as a camera club, and he knew we were coming as a camera club to take pictures of the mansion, then have lunch at the brewery, and then go to the Crane Foundation. So clearly I can't work on setting that up because I can't get him to call me back anymore, but but someone else might have better luck than I do. But the building is just so cool.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, were you doing that just all in one day?
Yeah, so the mansion isn't going to take that long to tour and take pictures of. And then we
Yeah.
thought we would get in there first and then just do lunch right away. And the Crane Foundation is not real far away from there.
Oh, okay.
There's also the Railroad Museum up there.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Railroad Museum is there too, North Freedom.
Yeah.
That's
And
always,
there's always Circus World Museum too.
Yeah, if you haven't had enough in the mansion. So
Yeah.
I haven't seen the actual mansion part. I've heard, and the outside of the building is real cool, but I've been in the brewery, and just even photographing in there is really, really cool.
And be sure to put on the list the Cedar or the West Bend Christmas Parade. They were so thrilled with the pictures that Linnea took that they want us to come back every year and do their parade. And I believe they did send the club a payment. I think it was like $100 or something, for our trouble. So, that's the cost of a good speaker. So, might be worthwhile.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You
Another
you
nice
don't know
garden
that
is-
date yet, Patty, do you?
I don't. I can get it from Mike. I'm sure he knows. The owner of the company I work for is one of the main organizers and patrons for the city of West Bend. The Hussars House of Fine Diamonds.
Okay.
So
Yeah, if you can find
so
out,
Mike knows everybody.
yeah, if you can
He
find
spent the
out that
weekend with
date,
Flavor Flav.
yeah. Oh,
What was also
okay.
nice was that trip that you guys did in Cedarburg, and that at nighttime there were some pretty cool pictures, although it kind of sucked because it was kind of raining instead of snow and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another nice garden is the Janesville Rotary Garden.
Yeah, I've been there. It is nice. It's got the really nice Japanese garden and that bridge and everything.
Mhm.
It's really beautiful.
What's it called?
Janesville Rotary Garden.
Really
Was
quite, a
that,
nice, quite a nice place, actually.
was that Christmas parade at night last year, Patty?
It's dark. It's like, I think starts at like 5 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's November 26th this year.
Okay.
That's for their website.
Great.
But I'll be able to see it to drive after dark this year, so I can go.
Jeff, on another topic, I'm just dying to know what your thoughts on this new Photoshop beta AI.
Well, it's interesting. It's going to be great for the graphic artist people.
Yeah.
Great for putting together slideshows when you need something instead of having to buy. What it's going to hurt is all the photographers that are doing stock photography. It's pretty much going to wipe them out in 5 years.
Kind of looks that way.
Are we
doesn't it?
talking about
Yeah.
Firefly? Is that what we're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, well,
I have
Firefly
that
now
beta.
is built right into Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
They moved it. The beta Photoshop that's out right now has Firefly completely baked in.
I did not realize that.
Yep, yeah. Go play with it, Ian. You'll go
I
nuts.
played with Firefly, and it's
Well, this is better.
quirky. Okay.
This is a lot better. It's close to, I would imagine the next version of Photoshop is going to have it built in, and it's what you can do with it is scary.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, Ian Kelby one has some videos on the topic.
yeah, there's
Almost-
about a dozen of them on YouTube already. So
Yeah. We spent an hour at Digital Forum the last time playing with it.
But this
It's
is
just-
different than the. Oh yeah, this is where you can like put like a, oh no, a dog in your photo, right? You like,
yeah.
you
You
circle
could change-
something, you type dog, and it gives you a dog.
Yeah. You can put hat on people. You could put earrings.
Change their clothes. I
Yep.
have seen
Yep. Change their clothes. All that. It's all in the beta Photoshop.
But can you? So this is just where I'm just curious if it's truly exactly what Firefly is, because Firefly you could like say, give me like a pink robot dribbling a basketball, and it'll give you a whole scene of from nothing.
yeah, this goes beyond that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew you could add things to photos. I wasn't sure if you could just do the entire photo AI.
You could. I actually created a whole photo from scratch the first
Okay.
time I played with it.
Gotcha.
I said, give me a beach scene with mountains in the background. And that was my background shot. Then I said, add a lighthouse. And I circled where I wanted the lighthouse, put a lighthouse in. Then I said, I wanted a boat in the middle of the water. It gave me a bunch of different boats, and I picked a sunken boat. Then I said, I want some dolphins jumping in the water near the boat, and I circled where I wanted the dolphins. And it gave me both dolphins and whales. So it gets to the point on how big of a cursor area that you pick really makes a difference. And then the keywords that you use, it really makes a difference. But it's, I would bet by the time we meet in fall, I can probably do a big demo on it.
So I would say if you have Photoshop, go for the beta. And if you've got 2 or 3 hours where you have nothing to do, this will keep you busy.
I mean, I'm using the beta just for the removal tool and the generative fill alone.
Yeah.
Those are
the removal
awesome.
tool now is in regular Photoshop. So
Did they? See, I've been using beta so much I don't even check the non-beta right now.
Yeah, the new updated regular Photoshop has a removal tool in it, all fixed up. But the beta version now has the Firefly built in to or the generative fill basically built into Photoshop. So I was amazed at what it could do compared to what Firefly was doing. This is a lot better. And I would imagine it'll be out in the regular Photoshop in 1 or 2 more versions.
Yeah.
But it is going to change. It's changing photography for the stock photographers because that's the field that it's really going to kill, because now you'll just say, I need this in a scene, and it can create it. And without having to go and look through stock photography, now you just got to learn how to do keywords.
Well, I think it's more than that, where you can take and add on things in the picture on, it's mind numbing. I mean, I was absolutely dumbfounded with some of the stuff it could come up with.
It's changing photography quite a bit. It's and Adobe's coming at it in a way that they're not stealing people's copyrighted photos, which means they're growing at it slower, but they're doing it the way it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Instead of these other places like Midjourney and a few others that just basically are taking photos from the web and putting it on.
I'm just messing with it right now. Now that you mentioned it, I will say though, AI generating of people from scratch is hilarious.
Yeah,
Hands are so bad. Eyes can go crazy. Like they got some work to do. They're not
there yet, but
they're not there yet. It's going to get better. Tech gets better, but it's in a very awkward stage right now.
Yeah, but doing little things that you wanted to do, if you needed to add something simple. When we were playing with it on that Saturday, I put an earring on my ear, and it looks like a regular earring that would go in a person's ear. So some of that kind of stuff is pretty interesting.
The thing that I really like this stuff for that applies to my work is like I'll take a picture of a flower and I'll crop it, I'll zoom in tight on it. And then later I'll come back and I'll be doing editing and I'll rotate it or whatever and realize I was too tight,
Yeah.
So now I'll use the scale tool in Lightroom to kind of zoom out a little bit, but now you have this white corner in your image that you didn't take a picture of that's white. What are you gonna do with it? And with this AI stuff, you just lasso it and say fill, and it's like it was there the whole time. It's amazing. And
and that's the kind
I'm
of
not
stuff.
putting that in the nature wacko category to disqualify it, but for things you see me throw on Instagram and post and people buy stuff like that, heck yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's changed a lot. It's going to change a lot on how photographers work, and I see a lot of uses for it that are practical. We're seeing a lot of the crazy stuff right now.
Yeah, because that's the sexy, the cool, the interesting stuff to do. But like, there really is really good practical use for this stuff.
Jeff, you forgot to mention the different hairstyles and your beard and mustache.
Oh yeah, that's right. We gave me more hair and we added on beards and that, and it actually looked pretty decent. The way it blended it in. Some of the hairstyles were a little strange. It is sort of interesting, some of the stuff that you can add or fix or change.
Well, now you said the Adobe was using their own library of pictures. That's a stock photography library, isn't it?
Right, it's their stock photography that the people have donated the images to or have.
So that leaves some small piece of job for stock photographers in the future.
Yeah,
to
a
pull out
little
that
bit.
library they draw off of.
As they keep pulling different bits and pieces from different photos, it's amazing. I mean, it's doing what I used to do on my own, which I have a whole folder full of small trees that I would cut out of my photos because I was doing landscape building, architecture buildings where the front needed a tree. So I could go into my files and pull a tree out and plant it where there wasn't a tree. Now I just have to circle that spot and say, I want this kind of tree in there, and it will plop a tree in.
And what's so amazing,
And
it'll
the
create
lighting
the
will be
shadows,
right.
texture, and
Yeah,
everything.
the lighting and everything.
I mean, it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. But for a lot of commercial photographers, it's when you need something simple like that, when your client says, oh, I want a tree here and I need a bench here and I need something like that there. Now I don't have to have it stored in a file. All I have to do is, okay, he wants that, circle it and say, this is what I need. And it's lit and put in place. That's the kind of practical use that it's going to be.
I put a quick link in for in the chat on YouTube on the photo AI. It's amazing how incredible and what you can add and what you can remove. There's one I'm trying to find. I know I have it saved, but I got so many, emails or, saved websites. It's hard to find it. but I sent one in the chat and that, but
Well,
Okay.
so
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. You go on YouTube and just Google that, you'll find a whole ton of stuff. Trying to think with anything else. We've got a lot of good suggestions, so that's going to help us in August. If you have more suggestions, you can email me. We're also looking for anybody that wants to add, put pictures in their gallery. Or if you don't have a gallery, start one, send me some pictures and we'll start a gallery for you on the club website. We also are looking for photos from the zoo and any of the field trips. If you send them to me, once I get enough of them, I will put them on the website. Create a gallery just for like the zoo stuff and Shady Lane. I haven't seen really any Shady Lane pictures.
I'm afraid
Nice
to see what photos I have in my gallery.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Good. These are all these are post my HDR days. So
for a gallery, do you have a suggested limit of how many to send?
As many as you want.
Okay.
We don't have a limit on the website, so
2100 still.
2100 pixels on the long side. That's the nice part with Squarespace. They don't limit the amount of data we can have on the site. So some of us have a lot of photos in, some have hardly any, and it'd be nice to see some fresh stuff. And I need to change the front page, and I want to work on a few other projects. We'll discuss at the board meeting a couple of things that we maybe need to look at doing. We are going to I am going to start, Menomonee Falls Camera Club is going to get their own YouTube page. Right now they're using my YouTube page. And I want to get that out of my YouTube and onto their own. So we're going to get that set up probably this summer. That's going to be a fun changeover. Yeah, and that. Shall we call it, Roger?
That's just what I was thinking. We've gone over a bit, and we've got some great ideas for next year for us to work in. And hope everybody's had a good year, and hopefully we'll see you at the picnic next month.
And bring some of your ideas for all member themes for next year too. So we'll have to still discuss those. We got a little time. Maybe we'll get some good ideas for a theme.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So there is no meeting in August, so for everybody other than the board members, which you'll be notified. So because it just that's our planning meeting in August, which it's actually going to be this regular Zoom meeting again. So hope everybody has a good July and you guys have a great time
See you in the park.
Rotary Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good night.
Right.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
See everybody.
Good night.
Bye.